Good evening and welcome to Granada Reports. A 17-year-old boy has been arrested on suspicion of murder after the fatal stabbing of Tyrone Riley in Salford. He was found dead near Clarendon Park last week. Greater Manchester Police say the boy arrested attended a police station voluntarily yesterday. It's now more than a week since 26-year-old Ellie Edwards was shot dead as she celebrated Christmas Eve at a pub in Wirral. Merseyside Police say there will be no hiding place for the person who pulled the trigger. Jennifer Buck sent this report.
The Lighthouse Inn in Wallasey remains in darkness, the staff here choosing to keep the doors shut out of respect while investigations continue. It's now more than a week since Ellie Edwards was shot dead after 12 shots were fired just before midnight on Christmas Eve. Police don't believe she was the intended target of the attack. Today, people are still coming to the pub to lay floral tributes and to pay their final respects. Ellie's family have been posting pictures and videos on social media and speaking of their great loss. Her sister Lucy called Ellie her best friend, her sidekick and her soulmate. Her dad described her as the most beautiful and bright star. 3 people have so far been arrested in connection with the shooting. A 19-year-old woman and a 31-year-old man arrested on suspicion of conspiracy to commit murder have been released on bail. A 30-year-old man arrested on suspicion of murder and attempted murder has been recalled to prison on licence. Merseyside Police say they will be relentless in their pursuit of justice for Ellie and for her family.
Next, an animal rescue centre in Formby has launched an urgent appeal to keep it running as it struggles to cope with the cost of living crisis. Rising bills also mean more people are giving up their pets, as Claire Hannah reports.
This is Belle, and she's 8 years old. She's a Shar-Pei Bulldog cross. She represents a victim of the cost of living crisis.
Belle is a sign of the times. She was taken to Freshfields Animal Rescue Centre near Formby by her owner.
Unfortunately, now it is typical, which is awfully sad. But in the list of outgoings that people have, they're getting rid of non-essentials, and a pet becomes a non-essential. Much as they love it, they can't afford to keep it anymore. It's not just dogs, it's any pet that they've taken into their home and are now finding there just isn't enough money to pay for it.
The centre's been here for almost 50 years. It's home to over 400 animals, and not just dogs.
Yes, we've got about 40 cats in at the cattery at the minute.
He's my favourite, absolute favourite.
Well, I think you might be his favourite too.
He's so cute. Look at him. One of the other animals that lives at Freshfields is, you might have seen Jürgen before. Well, he's walking off now, but this is Jürgen Kloppig, isn't it?
That's
How
right.
long's Jürgen been here?
Jürgen's been here 6 years and he was found abandoned near Anfield.
So, from Anfield to Formby, where Freshfields managed to make it through the pandemic, but bosses say the cost of living crisis is taking it to breaking point.
We're calling it the triple threat appeal because it's very simple. Costs are up, donations are down, and thirdly, the number of animals who need our help has quadrupled. So very simply, we're asking people to donate what they can to us.
People are struggling though, do you know what I mean? I don't think a lot of people can afford, you've seen it, people can't afford to put the heating on, never mind donate to another charity.
I think we know that people have got very, very different priorities and that things have changed enormously. So what we're saying is, very simply, if you can, give what you can.
They say even £1 will make a difference and help make sure animals like Jürgen can be looked after at Freshfields for the next 50 years at least. Claire Hannah, ITV News, Formby.
Rail passengers in the northwest are being warned of severely disrupted train services this week with a new series of strikes. Separate walkouts from the RMT and ASLEF unions between Tuesday and Saturday will affect some stations like Blackpool, Stockport and Macclesfield, which will all be closed.
Getting that winning feeling. FOW, sponsors of the Granada Sport Report.
Now football, and we'll start in the Championship, where Burnley extended their lead at the top of the table with a 2-1 win. Wigan are still winless, though, under their new manager Kolo Toure. They lost 4-1 to Hull. In League One, it was a good day for Bolton fans with a 3-0 away win, but one to forget on the road for Accrington. They lost 4-0 to Derby. And in League Two, Barrow played out a 0-0 draw with Rochdale at Holker Street. Now for the weather, here's Emma.
Why do I need a shower? I've been out in the rain.
The faster you go, the sooner you'll be out. You'll save water too.
United Utilities sponsors ITV Granada Weather.
Hello there, I hope you made the most of today because weather-wise it was the best day of the week. Lots of sunshine around, apart from an odd rogue shower over parts of Manchester and also potentially at the coast there over Blackpool as well, where there would be. But generally it was a fine day, turning quite changeable now, although there's a chance of some sunshine again on Friday, but it will be chillier at that point. So we're sort of top and tailing the week with some finer weather. But in between you can see these low pressure systems moving across, and so it's bye-bye to today's high and hello to these lows, and then a brief ridge of high pressure building in again for Friday. Rewinding though to the next few hours, we're expecting a widespread frost for this evening, the first part of the night there, ahead of a system which moves in across the Isle of Man and into the west through the early hours of the morning. So the coldest temperatures occurring earlier on. As this rain moves into the colder air, could be a little bit of winteriness at height as well, and the wind starts to get up with the arrival of that system too. Here are your sunrise and sunset times for tomorrow. Sun's up at 8:28, sets just past 4 in the afternoon. There'll be a spell of wet weather in the morning, blustery as well, gusts of 30, 35 miles an hour, increasing to 40 or 45 by the end of the day. Not an awful lot of rain on that first spell as it moves through in the morning quite quickly, then a brief drier interlude, and then the next spell of more widespread rain, which will be heavier. Milder temperatures, but it's going to be a very wet and blustery end to Tuesday. The wind strengthening overnight as well, and Wednesday is going to be another blustery, windy day, some more in the way of showery rain. Tuesday and Wednesday both quite windy days. The next spell of wet weather moves through on Thursday. Friday should be brighter but chillier. You can see temperatures drop off by day and also by night. Bye-bye.
United Utilities sponsors ITV Granada Weather.
That's all from us. Bye-bye.